The hell? Boobadoo! Wow, where the hell? Oh, there he is. I'm like,
Hey,
where the hell is Pedro?
had to close the window.
Where the hell is Pedro? Huh.
What's going on, y'all? Y'all know what it is. I'm Pedro. I'm Black Pedro, and this is Savage
Hello.
AF, and
Yes,
he is comedian Shang.
Hello, and this is Black Pedro. Oh, and welcome to another edition of Savage AF.
You know what it is. You know what it is. I see the building, the community starting to come in. Yanni, Nicole, Queen B, thank y'all. We appreciate y'all. We took a couple days off last week. You know, things happen. Life does go down. Yes. But typically, Savage AF is here for you live on YouTube and Facebook simultaneously. Typically, Mondays and Fridays, we're on at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Typically, Tuesdays through Thursdays, we are on at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Yes.
Get on to the YouTube page if you haven't already, because that's going to allow you to check out all the archive shows if you don't catch us on the live, or you know, shit goes on in your life too. You know what I'm saying? Garland
Right.
Kane, I see you. You know what it is. So
make sure that you go, when you do go on to the page, make sure you like and subscribe. And you, for the people that are going to be new in the feed, because hopefully we have the new people jumping on for the early show, because they always jump on for the late show. But you got to do that. You got to do this.
And there's the URL for you guys right there as a banner, youtube.com/c/Savage AF World. That'll get you there, man.
We got Queen B in the house. Salutations. And Nicole H over there getting a drink on.
Yeah, she knows what we do. She knows what we're doing, Nicole.
Getting another happy birthday. Getting another happy birthday. It was his birthday week last week. So I understand that. He has residual birthday wishes.
Appreciate y'all, man. I had such a good time. And I don't know what my mama said to y'all, but that shit ain't true. She drinks a lot, guys, so I wouldn't listen to her. Yeah. Yeah. Savage AF. We're also on Instagram. Okay. Savage AF Radio, at Savage AF Radio, at Black Pedro, at Comedian Shang.
Yes. And speaking of Instagram, make sure you do me a favor. Make sure you follow at Black Pedro. Make sure you follow at Black Pedro, and also follow at Comedian Shang. You follow at Comedian Shang. I didn't get to click the little thing, but you know what the hell I meant. And make sure you sign up on the website, IamShang.com, and follow at Comedian Shang, because I gotta let you know something else. Pedro, we gotta let them know. I didn't want to put it this way, but we're gonna have to push this out there for people that don't know, because there's a lot of people in the feed, and I don't want to disappoint them. Bam! Gotta hit them with the Black Pedro Begins, the album.
And we are that's available if you go to theblackpedro.com/shop. You can pick that up.
Right.
Even easier to do is to get your ass on Amazon Primes. Get you the Primes and be watching that Shang is Shangry.
Bam.
See, boom. Look, he got a 99% customer engagement rating. Who is that 1% of motherfuckers?
Yeah. Well, we're at 99.1 or 2. And just found out in the email, just saw it from Chartable. Savage AF went up 2 notches to 94 in Libya. And
man, we are liberating peoples already.
In Libya and Altadene, and there's 2 other ones. And we moved up, and we actually moved up a star on Chartable, which gauges podcasts. Speaking of podcasts, make sure you subscribe to the podcast, which is on iTunes, Stitcher, Slacker, Google Play, iHeartRadio, Spotify. And I'm going to ease into it for Pedro. Let's get it.
And we are available on SoundCloud. Yeah, girl, yeah. SoundCloud.
Wow. Did you see how he looked into the sky? He was looking to the sky.
That's where inspiration comes from.
And looking for a note. That nigga was looking for a note.
Donnie and Shawnee are in the building. The Bermuda 2 have united. The twins are in the house. We love y'all. Thank you always for the support.
Look at it. Donnie B saying, Pedro is so cute.
Wait till you hear that album. It's not so cute.
Yeah. And then I love you, Pedro. Pedro gets a lot of love, and as he should. Shout out to everybody that came out to the shows this weekend. I actually did the Crazy Woke Asian show, a festival this weekend. Thank you guys for coming out. And Pedro was performing this weekend at the Comedy Chateau.
Man, let me tell you something. Last night was fantastic, brother. It was one of those where, like, you know, the club owners were like, "Thank you for getting the show going." You know what I mean? Like, I was like fourth on, and you know, the crowd was all right. I think they just needed a little bit of energy. I gave them that, and plus my jokes, and yeah, we banged that bitch out, dog. That shit was off the chain.
Excellent. And we will be back up there.
First indoor show in a club in well over a year. Man, like, that shit felt motherfucking awesome.
There you
awesome,
go,
bro.
So make sure that you check us out. We will be doing more live shows, and we will definitely let you know. We've got a show coming up. If you get a chance, it's Jay Rich and Friends. I'm going to be at Tommy T's, June 10th. Make sure you check me out. Then I'm going to be in Jackson, Mississippi, and then I'll be in Cleveland, Ohio for the Improv. So this is what I got to let y'all know. Make sure you go to the website, IamShang.com, sign up, and then you can get information about shows coming to your area. Now, now for the run up on the rundown.
Yes, sir.
Now.
You know what it is, man. All right, so we're gonna give you. This is the last day of May, 2021. It's May 31st. Happy Memorial Day, y'all. If you have any veterans in your life or those who passed away in service to this country militarily, salute to that. Your brother included, Shang. So
yes.
This is Memorial Day. We pay respect to our fallen soldiers. So happy Memorial Day to everybody. Hope your coals are going right on the grill and that all your beers are cold. We're going to end today's show with the Shangry, of course. Why do we try to reach the unreachable? Fuck them fools, basically. We're going to get into that. Before we get into that, though, my pop-in today, actually, I think I'm going to change that up, but we'll talk about that, guys. But before we get into that, what the fuck, ATF? WTF, ATF. Found out that illegal gun dealers get busted a lot, but not shut down. Seems like a problem, especially with all the shootery going on.
Right, and all the mass shootings going on and all of that stuff. So,
but speaking of things that make none of the sense, the big pay black is what I want to call that. We are at the like that, like kind of not quite. Almost though, but we can have theme music as we go to it. But we are at the 100-year anniversary of the bombing, terrorizing, mass murdering of black people on what was called Black Wall Street, or in the neighborhood that was called Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma in 1921. It is 2021, and 100 years ago, this happened. We are at the point where the last survivors have testified in front of Congress as of last week to, tell the tales of the horrors they went through, to see the death, to talk about the death that they still see every day in their heads over these past 100 years, It was basically a mass murder. Let's be real. And there are still black people who are alive from that time, who were children, obviously. And they testified to losing everything. Now they're, over 100 years old and still carry these memories, these post-traumatic stresses, right? So the question here is, and the question that's out there is will these survivors, will their descendants get some kind of restitution, payback, reparations for what happened, right? Like we talk about reparations on a grander scale, but I mean, this is something very tangible.
Right. It's
100 years sounds like a long time ago, but I mean, we can do this, motherfucker. You can figure out who got land off of what and from where. And,
right. And how many white people came in and basically it was a jack move. It was, I'm gonna have to end the NBA. It's a jack move. That was what it was. And the bottom line is, they destroyed, burned, killed mass murderers, flat out mass murderers, and call it for what it is. It wasn't just Tulsa. It was flat out mass murder.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
Genocide, as Nicole
yes.
H definitely identifies it as. Yeah, not getting a lot of good vibes from the comment section yet. Yanni's nothing will happen. It's hardly even being talked about. Shawnee's like, not if they're African American. So obviously we don't have a lot of optimism about the prospect of black people being paid back. And listen, what we're talking about, right, is this is a legacy, right, where now it's like, why don't black people get their own businesses? Why don't they take care of their communities? Why don't they, upgrade their houses? And why don't they get jobs? And why don't they get, well, we did.
Right.
We did all of that. All the shit you're saying that black people should have done. And why don't we do that? Niggas did it. And they were successful. They were segregated, right, but they were rich. They had their own shit. And every time they did that, every time black people did the shit that you're telling us to do,
bam, this is what happened.
Cracker monkeys came through,
right?
And
this is what happened.
Acted ape shit. And they used that rape bullshit, the fake. Oh, a black man ate a white woman whole.
Yep.
She's still in his belly. Yep. Let's cut her out.
Yeah, exactly. So the bottom line is, if you see this kind of imagery, when you look at what happened, I don't know what else the fuck you need. And basically it's a bunch of jealous bitch ass yogurty, play ass motherfuckers that didn't want to see black people have equality. And when we do get equality, they still get jealous. That's why there's a lot of white men that are mad still that we want equal rights, and we want equal rights to vote, and beat your ass in the midterms, and beat your ass in the national elections, and beat your ass, and beat your ass in the ring, and beat your ass at races. You know what I'm saying? All I got to say, Usain Bolt, let it happen. Breathe.
But a wider reparations conversation for all African Americans, it's a big conversation. I mean, it's doable too, I believe. In order for America, I think America could
because
pay back.
Yeah, they pay back a bunch of other motherfuckers. They pay back a bunch of other people, and there's a lot of different restitutions that have happened. But what about just like this is going to make us get in trouble, but it might not. All I know is I'm still off of Twitter because they said I incited violence or some shit. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't, but it's not for you to talk about, Twitter. But at the end of the day, you didn't see us do this shit to people. You didn't see us bombing their fucking houses and dragging them into the street and killing them, women and kids, and busting their heads in with rifle butts. That's a fact. That's what happened in Tulsa. That's a mass murder scene, and burning people's houses and all kind of shit. So I don't want to hear no more bullshit from the government saying that they can't do it because they did it for the Jewish people. That is a fact. They still do it for Jewish people. They do it for Asians. They do it for different other races. But for some reason, we're always last on the fucking totem pole when it comes to any kind of restitution for obvious stuff that we can prove. We can prove it, that the descendants of white people that did that are rich, and the descendants of black people took a hit, even though they had already built their wealth. So suck all our dicks.
I mean, that can be traced. That can all be traced. And these are tangible things, right? When you destroy a community like that, I'm eager to watch Dreamland is what it's called.
Right. LeBron James
tonight. Yeah. LeBron James and Maverick Carter have put together, Stacey Patterson, I see they put together a project called Dreamland. There's a documentary on Black Wall Street and what happened. So, I'm looking forward to one clip I saw from that was, somebody talking about, now I can't remember the gentleman's name now. That's why I want to watch it. But him owning one of the most beautiful hotels in the world there in Tulsa, black owned. And, had it not been for the Black Wall Street massacre, there could have been a Black Hilton or, whoever the other hotel, conglomerates are, right? Like those all could have been Black owned hotels that are world class. And so, that kind of path towards not just local, and national, but global wealth got cut off.
That was cut off. And Queen B says, why is Stephen A. Smith talking about LeBron? Because Stephen A. Smith, even though I'm giving him straight props, New York City all day, but guess what? Sometimes Stephen A. Smith, I just want to say to you, Pedro, that sometimes Stephen A. Smith acts like, I don't know, a bitch. Sometimes he has a lot of stuff in him. And I want to say to Black Pedro today that I'm saying he always says Detroit had one of the best teams, but I'm going to go with San Antonio Spurs today because that's what Stephen A. Smith feels.
But I don't know what just happened. I don't know what Stephen A. Smith said.
Stephen A. Smith was talking shit about LeBron for because he should. It's basically a shut up and dribble situation because he's producing things like this.
Dreamland. Oh
yeah.
Oh well. Stephen A. Smith should worry about the recession of his hairline and not the recession of Black wealth.
Wow.
And that's coming from a man who is going through, similar hairline issues. So I get that.
Right.
That's why I try and stay focused on what I can do. All right. So, but seriously, will people is anything going to happen for these people of Tulsa? Like, do we really believe that nothing will happen at all? I mean, don't we I guess have an obligation to fight for that, right? Like that was the point of survivors going to Capitol Hill to testify, right? There are now talks of, mass graves being dug up and sort of real research going into who was killed and what they lost and where it went.
Right.
And personally, what I would like to see, to be honest, is a complete ousting of anybody that benefited from that. So if you are currently, especially a white person, on lands that were stolen by your ancestors or by somebody else's ancestors that used to belong to Black people prior to this massacre, you should be forfeited of that right now. That should be taken away. I am sorry, whatever. I'm not even sorry. Sorry, I'm not sorry, but I don't give a fuck. Like, pack up your shit, get the fuck out. This wasn't your shit.
Wait a minute, hold on, Black Pedro. So you want me to move out right now? Right now? Are you serious?
Hey, leave the toaster. Get the fuck out.
I will
the
not.
Microwave stays, bitch.
I will not leave my toaster. I will not. You, Bill, get the toaster. Fuck him.
I'll sit here and sip Semillon while you motherfuckers get the fuck out of my way. You know what I mean? But go ahead.
By the way, this whole building is Malik's now. So Malik says, tiptoe your ass out or play the repercussions and ramifications of what the fuck we gonna do to you. But we can't do nothing about it. The bottom line is, even though we know there was all the destruction and they have documented proof there was destruction, when I did a search on it, there was so much information and it was documented photos of some of the damage, some of the murders, believe it or not, flat out, that they felt proud of it. They felt proud of taking guns and beating young Black children's brains in.
This was the only time when bombs were dropped on a civilian neighborhood in America. Like, the motherfucking crackers went to the goddamn army base, commandeered planes from World War I and fucking flew over that neighborhood and dropped bombs on those buildings, man. They just bombed people, like military, like with airplanes. They air raided a domestic neighborhood in America. Like, that makes no motherfucking sense, but we know who we dealing with. I need y'all to stay focused. Nicole H, I appreciate the comment and the compliment. I like the curly landing strip, Pedro. I appreciate that, but curly landing strip makes my hair sound like 70s vagina porn. Okay.
Right. And that doesn't sound complimentary, Nicole H.
I
I get it.
know what you're trying to do, and I appreciate it. But let's
I
stay
know
focused.
we got a couple trolls, and there's some trolls
always-
in this house.
we
There's
always do
some
that.
trolls in this house, but I get it. I know that there's a tendency for them to say, well, what are you bitching about? There's black millionaires, this and that. Do you understand the amount of wealth that could have happened, that could have spread out from that? Not only when he mentioned when Black Pedro mentioned black hotels, but it was actually black insurance companies that were where you saw the basically, this is fact. And I'll pull it up right now so they can see that this is not just us talking shit. Black Wall Street in the early decades of the 1900s, Durham acquired national reputation for entrepreneurship. Businesses owned by African Americans lined Paris Street. Among them were, in North Carolina, Mutual Life Insurance moved to Paris in 1906, led by John Merrick, Dr. Aaron Moore, and C.C. Spalding, and Mechanics and Farmers Bank, 1907, led by R.B. Fitzgerald and W.G. Pearson. Okay, so you got to understand what you see right now, and I did some research on this. If you look at the blueprint for Mutual, it's called Mutual Omaha's. It's Mutual Omaha Insurance was based off of that, and the monies that they received was from that. Now they're huge, and because I was with them for a while because they bought the life insurance company that I was with. They just came in and bought it, and then I had to switch my shit out for my kids. So. End of the day,
you talking crazy. You gonna get us killed, Shane.
Yeah, I know.
I'm talking about taking back toasters, and this nigga talking about bringing down Omaha Mutual. Like, holy shit.
Yeah, but
looky here.
But this is what happened. And also, you know how we discriminate when we say, oh, we don't want to kill civilians when we go over and bomb shit? There was none of that in Tulsa. Yeah. There was all destruction.
It was meant to do that. It was
destruction. Destruction, and this final picture, destruction.
I did want to acknowledge Evelyn Gatlin's comment here. They did it recently, Pedro, in 1985, Philadelphia. Yes, so
right.
I'll correct myself and say that Tulsa Black Wall Street bombing was the first time that aerial bombing occurred in on American soil, against citizens of this. But in 85, what Evelyn Gatlin is referring to is an organization called MOVE that was, systematically attacked by the Philadelphia police. And yes, they did drop one bomb on the house. I think they took out several houses around it too.
Right.
Where the MOVE organization, and by the way, MOVE was like a similar to a Black Panther Party sort of.
Right. It was basically.
A Black Power organization.
It was a Black Power organization. It was basically the stop the niggas from coming up bombing. It was not because of it wasn't even political. It was all racial. We also know Tulsa was racial because they were jealous of the Black people that they said, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Not only did they pull themselves up by their bootstraps, they made the boots. They made the strings that went into boots. And then as soon as they did that, they got jealous, upset, mad, in their feelings. Yeah, and then boom, that's when they decided we're going to kill, murder, mass murder, because it is. And when you see the information for the LeBron James produced
Dreamland,
CNN, they actually say that in the promo for it, that it was a mass murder. So I don't like when people try to say, well, it was just, a racial uprising. No, it was mass murder. I will never call it anything else but that. It was mass murder, and it was basically theft, trying to take the wealth away from Black folks. So here on Savage AF, we say the shit, and that's it. And yeah, Mutual Omaha, you can suck all dicks. Suck all dicks. The whole dick, not even like a portion of the dick. I know you could just go for the head, but we decided down.
No half sucking.
Why did you turn a beautiful song of dancing 70s funk into a disgusting display of beautifulness? I love the way you did that, brother.
Because we still smelling the funk from
Yeah.
100 years. So bring it right to him,
But
man.
no, yeah, they do that. So Savage AF, we move on to the next subject.
Yeah.
But I want to let y'all know this will still be a thing. If you get a chance, I did read some like, where people who had already screened it said it's very, very good, but it's very, 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 very depressing. It's on tonight. So if you can't, like, there was a show that Pedro was like, you should watch it. And then I watched it and was like, it makes me sad sometimes when you see some of these documentaries and some of the stuff that is the reality. And this one, I know tonight I'm going to watch it. I'm going to be sad. I can already tell. It's just going to make me sad, but I'm going to watch it anyway.
No, you're going to be Shangry, which everybody should be watching on Amazon Prime.
Yes. Very good. Very.
I
see what you did there. Yeah. What was that? That's from Mr. Saturday Night. See what I did there? You see what I did there? Hey.
Y'all know what it is, man. Savage AF. All right, so let's get into this next one because speaking of terroristic fuckery, what the fuck, ATF? I came across an article last week, and it was talking about how basically the ATF, they catch thousands per year of illegal gun dealers, right? Happens all the time. But afterwards, not all of them get shut down.
Right.
And when we look at, shooting after shooting, I mean, the past couple weekends, we've had literally dozens of shootings per weekend. 3 dudes jumped out of a car and shot up like 23 people at some banquet event the other night. Like, I mean, nutty shit is going on in America, especially surrounding guns, right? Clearly, whether these people are psychopaths, sociopaths, irresponsible, drunk, had a bad day, whatever the fuck. We have given too many guns to the wrong people. And to find out that the ATF is out here busting illegal gun sales, but not shutting them down. And then niggas are getting shot in the back by the cops for walking home or whatever, or through their grandma's backyard or whatever it might be. It begs the question, what the fuck, ATF? I forgot a question mark in there, but
that's fine.
I don't get this, dog. Like,
well, you got to look at it this way, Pedro. And I think that everybody that's here on the feed, I see all the people in the feed. The ATF has always been biased and always had another agenda. For some reason, the ATF feels like certain people, like there was in Oklahoma City, where there was some white militias that were allowed to keep a armory after threatening the government. It said, you're not making us get off our land. But the black dude, Busta Rhymes' cousin, gets taken in and they take all his guns and they walk off and act like it's cool. ATF is a corrupt organization. The fact that they are letting this shit happen, they need to be investigated. But there's so much dirt going on, they just won't. And
it's hypocrisy. Yanni, I see he said, let's be clear, it's white people. A lot of these mass shootings, yes, are white people, but also in the hood, man. I mean, there are, guns float around, and it's a different way, but in a way, a retaliatory drive-by shooting that can turn into a mass shooting, right? And that's not like, some voice in your head told you to kill 4 people. Right. This is like, oh, these niggas rode on my cousin, so I'm gonna ride on them, and then you shoot up a baby shower or some shit, right?
Right.
Like, but that's still mass terrorism. And what I'm saying is, whoever engages in that, as a gun owner myself, obviously should not have ever been given a gun, whether it was illegal or legally. They are obviously irresponsible with that weaponry. So
wait a minute. So
it isn't just a racial line around.
It's not a racial line. I don't believe so. I know. I don't think it's just a racial line, but I believe there is a racial line. And I also think that when they confiscate the guns, there's certain people that for some reason are allowed to keep a certain amount of guns. And so, which I think is absolute bullshit if they've already proven themselves to be violent or threatening to, I don't know, the government. They threatened the government. You can look it up. They were like, there was militias that said, we're not going nowhere. You're not taking us off our land, even though we don't own this fucking land. And nobody rolled in and bombed them and and shot them and Swiss cheese them and all that other shit. So, you know,
and I see you, Nicole H. Who floated the guns in the hood? Now that's a whole other question, right? For sure. Like the flow of illegal guns and drugs into these areas, like from, you know, like how does an Arnov Klishnikov, right, a Russian-made assault rifle, end up, you know, down in the 30s and shit? You know what I'm saying? So like, how does that happen? Whole other process, right? But what I was addressing is once it's in any given individual's hands, we as a society have a problem, whether you live in the hood or the good, you know, whether you're at a church service or whatever, right? We're not actually responsible about how we pass these things out. And
right.
You know, y'all know I got mine now at this point, but I'm like, you know, they should have, if I had to wait any longer, it'd have been fine. You know, I haven't needed the guns at this point yet, but.
Okay. But I'm a little disgruntled that I haven't been able to pick up my shit, but I also don't want to pay these lawyers. But I feel like, you know, but at the same time, it's like people are always arguing about fucking gun laws and gun control. And you're taking my Second Amendment right away from me, and I'm allowed to have guns, you son of a bitch. Well, some of you motherfuckers should have a background check, because you should absolutely have a background check, because we already know that you are crazy as cat shit. And there's a very good chance that if you do get a gun, even if it's legally, you might drive across state lines and feel like you're some kind of vigilante and kill two people. And your parents knew that. 2.5, my bad, 2.5.
So 2 people in an arm.
And absolutely walk around and be given water, because, you know, well, once you shoot some people, it builds up a big thirst.
You get thirsty, though.
You get thirsty.
All that gunpowder dehydrates.
Right. But ATF also changed the law pertaining to suppression on guns. But
in some places,
the ATF is absolutely not on point with this. My bad. That's it.
Yeah. Yanni Kisar, America. This is a great point here, man. America will one day need to face a very easy question: what's more important, the Second Amendment or their children's lives? Period. America, are you listening to Yanni Kisar? The boy talking to you. Goddamn. Okay, put the goddamn phone down and listen.
Right.
What is more important, your Second Amendment or your children's lives? Yanni, I salute you, sir, for putting that out there. So
yeah, but you know what, Yanni, I want to say this to you. There are people that are more in love with their guns than they are children's lives. So that'll never happen. The love is too strong.
And yeah. And then the Texas governor, AJ Fitt, brings it up. In the midst of all of this shit, he just completely drops any background checks. Like in Texas, you can just go get one, dog. Just go get one of them things, man, and put it in the air, baby, and let them know you're here. Right. Yosemite Sam in this bitch, you know what I mean? Just bang, bang, baby. And that just makes absolutely no sense, AJ Fitt. Thanks for bringing that up, because I didn't mean to talk about that as well. As right. In the midst of all this, you gotta, and this is one of those Governor Abbott, right? He long roll off a short ramp. is what this wheelchair bound motherfucker needs. I usually don't make fun of a motherfucker in a wheelchair, but if anybody deserves a flatter tire, it's this motherfucker right here. I hope the battery goes out on the thing and the screw comes loose and he's kinking, you know what I mean? Like in the chair lopsides on his head. Like fuck that dude. Long roll off a short ramp into the ocean, baby. Because he, you know, in Texas, yeah, it just dropped all, like, to have no background check. Like that's insane. No, like y'all need to have a background check for your fucking governor. That nigga crazy. Okay.
Yeah, and then, let's be real.
Well, he gonna be out here wheelchairing with one hand and then spraying that thing with it, swinging that motherfucker side to side, like 21 Savage said. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Come on, baby. But
you know what? I have a little video of one of my wish list for Texas, and this is it right here. Like
for the Texas governor, just why was that made? Like, who made this video? What part of what story was that? What is that? Where's that from? That means some writer at some point wrote and wheelchair goes off ramp or some shit.
Yeah.
He's falling into a canyon. What is that? How does it put it up there one more time? I need to see that wheelchair thing, though. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
This nigga is in the forest in a wheelchair and then just off into a fucking river. All right, I'm sorry. I'm done. Yeah, y'all stupid. Yeah, Queen Bee, we is stupid. But all right, so yeah, this is America. Bang bang. ATF don't give a fuck. Texas don't give a fuck. That's why I roll around with shit in my trunk now, because I'll just mumble through this motherfucker. I don't have any words. Yeah, I don't have any words for y'all. I'm just like, hey.
Okay, but you gotta look at it this way. Let's be real. The ATF, everybody knows the ATF, where they actually let some illegal gun dealers slide, and that's the only way I can put it, is let them slide, is obvious that you say it's not always racial, and I don't think it's always racial, but it also is financial, because I think that a lot of the ATF is involved with illegal activities of kickbacks from certain organizations that say, well, just let us slide on this one. They get a kickback, and for some reason that those people don't get all their guns confiscated. That's what I think. The world is corrupt as fuck sometimes, and ATF is not, doesn't get off the hook for that shit. And right now, the way that they're going about things, and then the information that I looked up, is just absolutely insane. It's absolutely insane, the disparities between the people that they let go. Stop it. And Texas governor, there's a reason that I pushed you down that hill that day.
Whee!
There's a reason. Yeah, so there was a reason.
But as we move on, man, I do want to just point back to Yanni's comment earlier. America, what's more important, your Second Amendment or your children's lives? Let's think about that. All right, we're gonna move through the show. I think there was another topic I want to bring up, but I think I'm gonna save that for tomorrow's show.
Here you go.
And in the meantime, we're gonna move on, and I'm gonna hit y'all with a little something like
Hey, it's your boy Black Pedro popping in, hey, with another poppin' to let you know what's poppin'.
Hey, it's your boy Black Pedro with another poppin' to let you know what's poppin'. Oh man, you know what's poppin', man. I'm in my Uncle Dro game now.
Right.
My sister and brother-in-law are now taking care of 2 teenagers, and I'm stepping into the uncle role. Right, these are young black children, 16-year-old girl, 14-year-old boy. So my nephew, he got an award from the principal of his school, as he's leaving 8th grade, for being the most improved student. And, the work he had put in over this past school year was recognized from the very top of his educational institution. And in my family, that would allow, if like my sister and I got that award when we were his age, that would have allowed us another year of life. My mother was very strict about grades, and she would threaten you real quick. So that would have brought us another year of life. But for my nephew, it's more than that. It is a great accomplishment, especially considering all the things that he's been through personally in his life. So, in honor of that, I wanted to, pay tribute to him, right? Give him some time and spend some time with him and reward him, right? So we went out, had a little lunch, went to the In-N-Out by my mom's house. And in that moment, and we also went by the Vans store because he likes Vans. And we got him some G'd up gear and stuff, you know what I mean? But at lunch, an older black man came and sat next to us at the table next to us. And, we struck up a conversation, and it was a great time because there are these like sort of 3 generations sitting there, and I'm trying to impart things to my nephew. So the reason I want to bring all of this up today was like, I started the we black dudes conversation. You know what I mean? Not saying you have two sons. They are African Americans. So, I'm sure you
Wait,
have
hold
much
up. To my knowledge.
right, as far as we can tell.
But yeah.
And I'm sure you've had, especially with your older son, these conversations already. So you probably have experience in this. But me, I hadn't really had to approach this thing. But I'm looking at this 14-year-old Negro boy in today's society, and I want to make sure he knows how to function, that he knows how this society sees him, but also that he knows how he should see himself, right? And understand those juxtapositions. Interestingly enough, so I asked him, like, are you aware, like, the racial things that are going on in America right now? Like, is that on your radar? Because, hey, man, these kids be in these screens and Nintendo Switches, and I'm not sure that they are always paying attention to it, right? So I just asked him, and interestingly, he brought up the Asian hate first, right? He was like, well, I know that there's a lot of hate and violence towards Asians right now, and I didn't want to negate that. So I went to my improv skills. Number one rule of improv is yes, and there is also this thing that specifically affects you and I. And I'm looking at him and I'm like, as black men in this society, are you aware of what America thinks we are? And there was a pause on his face, and I was like George Floyd, are you aware of that? And he was like, yeah, that was messed up. So I know that he gets it. I'm not sure that he was able to express all of that with me in this initial conversation. It's going to be something I'll be, tagging in with him a lot about. But just last week, apparently he lost the key to the house, or didn't have his key on him and forgot the code to the garage. So luckily he was able to get into the backyard and get in the house through the back door, which shouldn't have been unlocked, but it was. But my first thought on my mind, and when my sister and brother-in-law told me that story, I was like, yo, this can't happen. Because he literally just loves to wear hoodies, right?
Right.
And my sister and them, they're in it's this Vegas, it's a nice Vegas neighborhood. It's not a black concentrated neighborhood. So I was like, that's dangerous for him.
Very.
He can't be a Negro in a hoodie trying to figure out how to get into your house. Like, that cannot happen. And it sounds so fucking trivial. But when I tell you I had a conversation with this boy, like, bruh, you have to have your key on you. If you do not, you have to know that code. You cannot be outside of that house looking in windows, climbing fences. You can't do that, dog. As innocent as it is, as much as you belong here and are welcome here, this world doesn't see you like that. And it was a lot for me, honestly, to be having this kind of, because like I said, I'm not like you. I don't have the sons yet, Shang, and all of that. So this is my first real opportunity to have this conversation with a child like this. You know what I mean? But
a teenager, yeah. Because I've had, with a teenager. I think that's good you're doing it now, because sometimes they feel like, well, everything's cool, it's fine. And you got a neighbor that might be a little bit too ready to, like, oh, there's a black guy breaking into the house. It's to the point where Pedro that's his mom's house, and they look at Pedro like, what are you doing here? So imagine what they do with a kid with a hoodie on.
So here's the thing. And, Queen B, I see you. She's like, no hoodies, don't jog. Don't play your radio too loud. These are all things that I do because I'm a proud black man, and, I'm going to walk around in society with my head high. But I understand that any of those things could get me killed. So I've always got some kind of plan or whatever, or idea of how I might react in these situations. And I just want to start planting these seeds and giving my nephew a plan so that he understands what the situation is. When I've had 6 cop cars roll up on me and I'm on foot in Orange County, I know what this is. I know I can't be like, why the fuck all these cops out here? Nigga, they out there because I'm a nigga. I'm a black ass nigga in the middle of Irvine in the middle of the night. That's why they here.
Yeah.
Swallow it. That's why they
Well,
hear.
no,
'Cause of my
Pedro.
black
No,
ass.
no, Pedro.
So
I think
you know, I'm not saying they did the right thing.
Pedro.
I'm not, you know, but I'm
I
like,
think it might have
you
been
gotta understand
some of your material. Let's be real. Could have been some of your jokes that they felt they needed to have the entire SWAT team take you down and never be in Irvine again. That's what I think it is. I'm gonna put it real out there.
Hey, man, you know,
I'm just gonna put it out there, people.
But
I've seen it. I've seen it set. He said some pretty inflammatory shit, and I'm the one that called. In fact, when he was down there, I'm the one that called the police on him.
Look at him. Look at that Negro.
Look at
What's he doing?
there.
Walking. He's outside. No, he's using both feet, officer.
Yeah,
both feet.
officer. And his
one after
arms
another,
are swaying.
He's putting one in front of the other.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
This fucking guy. You know what else he did? He blinked his eyes so it would moisturize his pupils. That is uncalled for, and we will not have that in our neighborhood. So
I think he's wearing a jacket. And isn't it a little warm for a jacket?
Isn't that a little bit
suspicious? So as we all move through this life, let's make sure that we as Black people, men and women, but especially my brothers out there, because we do have a different stereotype on us, you know, because of Birth of a Nation. We are the rapist, wild beast monkey that's running, chasing white women through the forest. And this society will not stop looking at us like that anytime soon. I don't think so. Make sure we're aware of that, and that we are passing down this knowledge and information and survival skills. Honestly,
right?
You know, most white dads are out there teaching their kids how to start a fire or hunt deer, trap rabbits. Survival skills.
Travis, you know what we learned today? Skidoo.
and our survival skills are like, here's how you get to the store and back with groceries.
When you stop your car, make sure both your hands are on the steering wheel and don't make any sudden movements.
Our survival skills aren't about starting fires. They're about putting them out. We are Savage AF. That's my Black Pedro popping for today. There
you go. Yeah, let me tell you something real quick. Make sure that you guys, all people new to and new trolls, we got some new trolls. There's some
no, it's the same troll. It's a troll with many personalities inside their mind. Well, and they come on this show and think that they can create a new handle and have the same whack ass voice. And
shit!
Niggas gonna think about. I don't give a fuck. All right, we got our fans. We got our people that love us. And it amazes me that people spend their time doing these things. Like,
they do what they got to.
So many restaurants are hiring right now. Like so many places are having hard time finding workers. Get your ass back out there, man.
No, so
you need another job.
But the people, aside from that, the new people that support us, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you do this real quick. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Also, subscribe to us on the podcast version of the show, which is on iTunes, Stitcher, Slacker, Google Play, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and SoundCloud. And make sure you follow at Black Pedro. And make sure you follow at Comedian Shang on the IG. Okay. And want to say thank you to all the people who came out to the shows this past weekend. Thanks for going to check out Black Pedro at the Comedy Chateau. My Shangry is I've been in this vein before, but I got to say it again before. It's gonna be short, quick, and angry. Let me tell you what it is, Pedro. I am fed the fuck up with the Democrats. Keep reaching over the aisle. Keep trying to reach the unreachable GOP. Fuck them. I'm so tired of that. They literally just said, no, you're not getting to investigate anything that happened on January 6th because the shit didn't happen. And instead of the Democrats going full blast, they didn't. You know what they did? They bitched up. And they're not going to get anything passed with the motherfucking Republicans because they're two-faced. Everybody knows they're two-faced and they're not. And every time we try to work with them, guess what happens? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. So if anybody needs to be pushed down a fucking hill, it's them. They are absolutely horrible. The Republicans absolutely showed their ass, and they've been showing their ass pertaining to the fact that they don't want an investigation into January 6th. And there are actually a percentage of Republicans that are still saying that the shit didn't happen. And they're still saying that Trump, that fuckstick, is still president. This is what happens. Yes, the GOP get out party because they absolutely just don't give a fuck. And we still keep trying to work with them. We keep trying to work with them. We keep trying to listen. Hey, well, you know what? We're almost there on a meeting pertaining to infrastructure. And all of them are like, suck all our dicks, okay? The Republicans will never work with us. They have not worked with us. And you know, bitch McConnell, that evil fucking turtle,
Jesus
and
Christ.
these other white fucking leaning supremacists will not work with us. So stop it.
That picture of bitch McConnell and those guys, it looked like they have just kicked a black baby in the head. And that's like the only thing that makes them sad. Like you never even see bitch McConnell smile like that, especially.
But he probably just
definitely just killed a black child.
Either that or he blocked something that would absolutely help the American public. And another thing is that I'm going to say this before I bounce. Did you know that the QAnon is growing? The fastest amount of QAnon followers is growing in the Republican Party, flat out, unequivocally. So you can't say, well, it's the Democrats and the Republicans. Suck our dicks. The bottom line is QAnon is growing faster with the Republicans and the right-wing Republicans. So
ain't
I don't want
nobody
to
on the left in no QAnon.
Yeah, exactly. So
ain't no Democrat.
Ain't no Democrats in a QAnon. So I'm gonna need Chuck Schumer to bring a little bit more New York. Take your glasses off and say, "Hey, look, I'm gonna tell you right now, you motherfuckers. Don't make me run hands. Try Jesus, but don't try me because I run hands, and I'll do it. Don't make me fucking come out there." So Chuck Schumer needs to step up. He needs to make sure that we get some things passed because I'm gonna tell you right now, the Voter Rights Act suppression will go through because Republicans are playing dirty and playing hardcore. And guess what? If the Republicans keep doing it with their fucking psychotic ass, and we know they're psychotic, we know they absolutely are. By the way, this is actually their top consultant. Then we're never going to get anything done. And the fact that they showed their ass, I'm going to say this, and y'all know I'm talking the truth. They showed their ass by blocking an investigation into January 6th because they didn't want their beloved leader to not be tarnished by anything that would happen. Trumpty Dumpty, absolutely.
This picture fucks me up.
It might win again. So, yeah, I had to do it. Savage AF.
All right.
The Democrats need to buck the fuck up.
Well, I think they are doing it just politically. And it doesn't look like what we want it to look like. Like, I know we just want Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi to come up and be like, fuck all y'all. And just do their own shit. But really what they're doing is, all right, here's our proposal. Oh, you want to propose way less? Oh, you don't want to compromise with us? You don't want to work with us at all? Oh, we do the vote and you're not going to vote for it? Cool. All right. So what we're going to do is just form our own commission or put it through, our own vote process, right? Like they are reaching out to the Republicans first, just so there isn't that, oh, it's all bipartisan. And that's what the rhetoric that the Republicans are kicking anyway. It's like, oh, this is so bipartisan, blah, blah, blah. But the reality is the Democrats are like, hey, want to play? No? Fuck you then. We got the ball anyways, bitch. And it's my playground. And it's my school. You the new kid on the block. Get the fuck out of here with your stinking ass. By the way, you got a booger right here.
Yeah, I like the fact they keep saying the minority. But end of the day, what just happened with they basically turned down. There was only 6 Republicans that went with it, Romney and a bunch that went with saying, hey, we're going to fuck with you on this investigation pertaining to January 6th. So the fact that many Republicans went the other direction and their lives were threatened too, Pedro. These motherfuckers were talking about hanging motherfuckers. And they still do it. The fucking vice president's brother said, yo, I ain't really never liked that nigga.
He's like, they weren't trying to kill Mike.
They wasn't trying to kill him. That whole
I
hang
almost
Mike.
hung him when we were kids. I mean, come on. Who hasn't built a gallows and
The
almost hung
chanting
their fucking
of
brother?
hang Mike Pence, hang Mike Pence. They weren't talking about that.
No, they just wanted him to hang out.
Hang out with us.
Like, let's hang with Mike Pence.
And hang Mike Pence meant
They're
hang
like,
with us.
Hang, Mike Pence, hang.
And then we're gonna hang him. We really were gonna hang him, but still.
Come on, hang.
Yeah.
Hang,
so
Shang. Come hang, Shang.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on, hang.
But
hang,
then I'll
Shang.
end up. I don't want to end up hung.
Hang, Shang. Hang.
I don't want to hang. So
Shang.
it's AJ Fitz said the same thing. Queen Bee and okay, talking about a lot of black women are interested in business. Blah blah blah. Yes, stock but Bitcoin. No, I agree with you to a point there, but to a point. But y'all know what I mean. Savage AF. We gonna rock out with this show today. I'm gonna let y'all know something again. The only reason I'm saying that I think they need to buck up is because in the public side, perception is reality, and they do seem a little soft, softy soft, yogurty soft, softy soft.
Oh, Serious Jest offers another. They could have been yelling "Bang Mike Pence" because he's so damn sexy. I mean,
right.
you know that Fly thought he was the shit.
Yeah.
So
that was very good. Very good.
All right, y'all. So I guess we got to the end of it today. We made it through a show. It's good to be back. We took a few days off, but we right back at it. And speaking of back at it, we'll be right back at it tomorrow, y'all.
6 p.m.
6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Savage AF. It's
now,
your boy Black Pedro, comedian.
This is Shang. I need y'all to bring at least 3 people with you to watch the show and listen to the show. We need more subscribers, so I'm flat out reaching out to you to say, tell your friends you dig the show. If they got political minds, if they got social minds, if they got intellectual minds, and they like a little bit of hood sprinkle on top of that, make sure you tell your friends to check out Savage AF. We'll be back tomorrow. Friends of the friends of the friends. The friends. Because we work
overtime in this motherfucker. So
all right, y'all.
Tomorrow
tomorrow we'll see y'all. Boom.
Peace.
Wow.